onye ziri m ozi zie ọbata obi eziri m ozi ekwenụ ntị ka nzikwa ozi oziri onye ọwụna kọpị ozi ọbata obi eziri m zie ọsị m gwa dị o soshal midia onye ọwụna na-ekwu maka Biafra bakwụsị ime ataki ndị na-alụlụ Biafra ọrụ na Washington DC ewere ntị gị mere oche na Elias na ndị ochie otu a ka o si kwu ya then osi everybody should fall back na government in exile na ya na-akpa asọ afọ ọsụ mmadụ na ọwụzikwe na ya ekwe ha emazie na ọ Biafra ka anyị na-azọ mana anyị kwụsị ịma ya mma n'azụ na ya eche anyị na-eche na ya apụta na ya ochere na ya apụta ibe ona osi gwa m ya osi ona ka si zie be ayo 5 minutes so ọwụrụ na ya achọghị ichi azụ mana ya na ayọ biko same president na-alụ Biafra alụ attack ona obi ahụ gwara nkịta ka ọ gwara m ọgwụ and the more deliver upon the message
I don't think when I'm thinking that's now who am I saying they can't equal words yes because him and
these are what I call devil incarnates. A queen's devil incarnates. You can't easy you were. To distort and disrupt the entire process of the restoration of Biafra. You know the truth, but you want to continue to cover up the truth, to sit on the truth. Until you perfect your damage, until you perfect the destruction of the entire process and the structure. Some persons are saying that the Biafran cause is now beyond Mazin Namdekan, is beyond Simon Ekpa. You can't imagine how foolish and daft some people are. It's not beyond them. A refrat, I'm not here. It's beyond them now, right? You have hijacked it and you want to destroy the entire process, the work. You do not recognize, you do not appreciate, you do not value what they have sacrifice, the sacrifice they have made. So it is immaterial. You don't recognize them. No wonder you refuse to speak about it. No wonder you're fighting the structure. It is not beyond Mazi Simon, but it's beyond Namdekan. These are people who say they are fighting Biafra. Where were you when they are making sacrifices? Where were you? It's not beyond them. You can imagine I'm not here. Even when they know they are doing what is not right, how could you tell Odadiorama not to deliver the message that was sent directly to her through the Prime Minister? This is not an AI, it is not an audio voice, it was not communicated to her through a third party. It was a direct message from the PM, the Prime Minister. And some persons are arguing that because Odadiorama should not release this message, he should have heard the message to herself. Why the instruction is deliver this message, and you are telling her that she shouldn't have delivered the message because it will expose your atrocity, your lies, your deceptiveness, and delusionness. You are afraid and ashamed that you will be exposed to the light, and Biafrans will be delivered and liberated from the destruction, from the conspiracy against their collective interests and destiny. It is quite laughable. Some persons are asking, saying that Opatobie, the PM, cannot say this thing, can never say it. You can imagine they are becoming so daft and deceptive to themselves, to their own destruction. She is saying directly what was communicated to her. Opatobie sent me a message to Biafran. that you should fall back. And this is not the first time the message is being passed according to her. He said, this is not the first time. And Obadobi said, why are you stabbing me behind? Fall back to the Biafran Republic government in exile, a body that I have set up for myself to in pursuit of the cause of liberty and liberation of Biafra. And stop attacking the people working for Biafra in Washington, D.C. Who is he referring to? Elias Gerard Solis and his team that have ensured that the U.S. Department of Justice recognizes Biafra as an entity. That you should stop disturbing these people, stop fighting them. I have asked these questions time without number, and you have failed to answer me. Ngozi Oraveze has failed to answer this question. Just one question: why are you fighting the structures of Mazin Namdekan? Why are you fighting the structures of Mazin Namdekan? If this question is answered, if people can take time to digest this question, then they will find the truth for themselves. That was the first question I asked. After studying, making investigations, and with my own analytical skills, I was able to decipher what is wrong from what is right. Why should Ngozi Oraveze be fighting the structure, the main base of Simon Ekpa? Now, Simon Ekpa has come to say, stop fighting those in Washington, D.C., fighting the cause of the restoration of the Biafran sovereignty and the recognition of Biafra by the White House, the Washington, D.C. Stop fighting them. They are doing a good job. You are fighting them, you are fighting the cause, collective destinies of Biafrans. Say, people who know they are wallowing in their own self delusion will want to oppose that. Why are you fighting the test structure set by Mazi Simon Ekpa? That is the question. He has been able to relate this down to the Biafrans, and of course, according to Adadiorama, she had passed the message to Ngozi Oraveze, and that is it. That is the message. And some persons are saying that Oge Kere and the rest may have induced her. What kind of destructive, demonic, possessed beings in human clothing? They are so destructive to themselves that they want to bring down everybody along with them. Some person are saying, Ngozi, they are trying, they are trying to bring you down. Who is trying to bring him down? She has passed the message communicated to her, and that is just it. And some persons are asking, why shouldn't Simon Ekpa communicate directly to Ngozi Oraveze? Those questions are immaterial. Those questions are inconsequential. Simon Ekpa can freely choose who to communicate with. It is within his, of course, right and discretion to do that. If she has chosen Adadorama to communicate to her, to pass the message, well, that is fine and good. If you doubt it, well, that is your own chagrin and peril. But the question is, has Adadorama communicated that? Of course, if she didn't communicate that, she is to blame if virtually if Mazin Namdi Simon Ekpa comes out, because in that report of Adadio Rama, he said, do you think I will not come out? Do you think your plans of setting me aside so that you can destroy the structure I have said and continue the perpetual enslavement of all Biafrans will stand? Don't you think that I will come out? All your plans to hold me back, to set me aside and fight my structures. When Simon Ekpa is there, I saw Ngozi, of course, working with Elias Gerard Solis. But why is it eventually after the summon of Simon Ekpa, you begin to fight everybody? And Simon Ekpa is saying, stop fighting those working for us, working for Biafran government in exile towards the restoration of the Biafran sovereignty in Washington, D.C. Some person says Simon Ekpa has no phone, he cannot communicate. These are the same people. Even Ngozi Orebeze said the restriction placed on his communication has been lifted. Now they are not changing the narrative that somebody has no food, he cannot communicate. So how comes? Why are people so destructive to themselves? Even when they see the truth, they will not believe. The generation and group of chorus. As I've rightly said, when you listen to issues, you digest it. You know when somebody is lying, or that Diorama is not lying at this time. She's trying to make it very clear to dispense the message, to deliver the message sent directly to her through the PM, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic Government in Israel, to Biafrans, those who believe it is your choice, of course, and within your own volition, to either take the message or leave it and stop destroying, of course, the personality of Adad Arama by living up to her responsibility to all Biafrans. Send this message, deliver this message. It's not a crime. As my people do say, Ezie nwata ozi zie ọgaranya, asụ ya gbaa ajụ bute ya, ịghọtara. She have delivered the message, and that is just it. It is within your own discretion either to accept it or not. Well, whether you accept it or not doesn't change the situation, but the issue is that, of course, reference will be made in the course of time. You said you shouldn't have released the message. I should have allowed. You know what is happening. Distortion of the process and structure of Mazin Namdekan is what you have. Simon is what you have cued in, and you want to perfect the distortion. Is that what you think is happening? He said, fall back to Biafran Republic government in Israel, because Biafran Republic government in Israel is what produced the United States of Biafra. It's what produced the success recorded so far. So it's the brainchild of the Biafran Republic government in Israel, which is working, which is part of their process or program for the restoration of the Biafran state. You can't come, of course, in between the process and try to hijack or truncate the process. In fact, it was the Biafran Republic government in Israel that gave you the opportunity to become the chief of staff. And becoming the chief of staff does not imply that you have to control and distort the entire process. People are not asking questions. Even when we weren't there as the chief of staff, the Biafran government have been existing, has been moving forwards, have been achieving great feats. So why should you come now and disregard everybody and think that everybody is a trash and you can do whatever you think? Well, it's left for Ngozi Orebeze. Possibly the message has been communicated. Now, it is very difficult perhaps for her and her gullible, I will use the word now, gullible media propagandas to accept the truth at this particular time. They know the truth. But how could they condescend? How could they bring themselves low, humble to the point of accepting the word that should be to their own benefit, as everybody is knowing the truth now? And some people will come here and be ranting. Now I'm trying to bust whatever argument or question you may want to raise. He said that someone has no food, but Ngozi Orebeze and other media propaganda accepted that the restriction placed on his communication has been lifted. He could decide to call anybody he wants to call or communicate to. That is quite clear. Some persons, when he communicated through her attorney, his attorney, some people were not accepting it. Now he has communicated through one of the cabinet of Ngozi Orebeze, and some people are saying doubting. Why should you have said this now? You should have covered it. You should have sit on the truth, so that the preference will continue to be deceived, continue to be derailed on the path we are now. How can we go back? For who initiated the declaration of the Biafran state? Is it not the Biafran Republic government in Esa? It's part of that program. So why can you separate them? It is the program of the Biafran Republic government in Esa, which is progressive. Simon Ekpa is now saying, stop interruption of progressive program of the Biafran Republic government in Israel to restore the sovereign state of Biafra. Stop attacking those working for us in Washington, D.C., disparaging them, calling them names that they will go down. You can imagine people working for the liberty of Biafra. A woman saying that they will go down because of wars. which means you want the entire process and the structure of Simon Ekpa and the Biafran people to go down. You want Elias, of course, General Solis, who, through his effort and, of course, engagement, achieved a great success, which Ngozi or Rebezi also claimed, posted in her S-hand before it was suspended, that the U.S. Justice Department of Justice has recognized Biafra as Biafran Republic as government in Israel as an entity. You know, the implication is a great success, and what they are looking for is to perfect every effort or whatever they have done, of course, to make sure that the White House or Washington D.C. recognizes the sovereignty of Biafran state. It's quite unfortunate somebody fighting all the structures, leading Biafrans as from my own perspective and analysis. You cannot fight the structure of Mazi Simon, and he's telling you, stop doing that. You say, how should he say that? He cannot come that from him. And he have used, if it is a different person, well, I would have, of course, be skeptical. But this is coming from Daddy Oram, one of the cabinet of Ngozi Arabeze of Moses, and she apologized and said he's coming back. So that is quite very clear that she's not messing with, and she made it very clear. Ask me any irrelevant questions. I have come to deliver the message, and you cannot tell me I shouldn't deliver the message. Then you are becoming very mischievous and irresponsible for making such statement. So it is left for you, of course, to we need to get guys gone. But the truth is that the truth is coming out, and nothing anyone can do about that. Simon Ekpa said, "You think I will not come out? Is it their calculations and, of course, conspiracy against me? You want to finish me? Don't stab me. Stop stabbing me behind. I am coming back, and I have given this in the interest of Biafrans and their liberty." He said, "You may decide otherwise, but don't stop fighting those who has committed their resources, of course, and sleepless nights in engaging on behalf of the Biafra in Washington, D.C. This is a breaking news. It's a great news for the lovers of truth. It's a great truth for those who has conscience. It's a great news for those who are seeking for true liberty, who are sincerely, of course, fighting for the cause. It's a return back to where you belong. Stop that parallel attack government or whatever is set up to distract the fight and the process. Well, of course, I remain Chigos and Debo, the host anchor, bringing you at the unbiased reportage of events and keeping it real has been a commitment. Let's have your own take, of course, via the comment section. Anya Keja Monka Karaka. Look before you leap. But when you fail to look before you leap, you will end up, of course, with just what is happening. Promotion. You shouldn't have said it. You should have heard it. Heard what? Heard the truth. As you have been covering it up, we push it up. And that is just where we are now.